So I was almost done making this video and someone called and I forgot to turn off my, turn on my focus and stopped my video before I was done. Okay, but that's okay because practice makes perfect, right? Problem is my markers are not very dark and they get lighter and lighter the more I write. Okay, so I'm gonna start where I ended. I think that's a good place. So this video is going to be about asset protection. This is not for you, this is for me, because I'm going to share with you, I'm going to report to you what I plan on doing to protect assets. So, you know why, one of the reasons why I believe Hitler wanted to exterminate Jews. Not that I promote that at all in the least bit. But why is the big question. Why did he want to do that? Why was it important to him? And I think it's because the Jews had a certain way of doing things. And the way that they did things were to always work with their family. Always promote their family. Always promote from within. Always promote other Jewish people. That's what they do. There's nothing wrong with that. We all want to do that, right? So this is my hack on protecting assets. And we protect assets I do, or I will be, through an irrevocable trust. You may say, oh, well, I know all about trust and stuff like that, but you may find something a little bit different in this video. So let's see if, okay, we can see that all right. Let's see if we can explain this, if I can explain this. When I say we or our or us, I'm talking about my family because this is hypothetical for me, but it's possible, and I plan on doing it and testing the system. Maybe you know something I don't, you can give me a heads up before all this goes down. But so I live in Texas, most of you know. I don't hide that fact. I live in Texas, and as a veteran, the LLCs are free, okay? And we're going to need about 6 LLCs or more, depending on how many titles you have. I'll probably need a couple more than 6, but we're gonna go with 6 right now, just to keep things simple. And we're gonna talk about how each of the things you own need to be protected individually. But if you want to do LLCs, the way you do them is to download the document from the Secretary of State website. And for Texans, it's $300. If you're a veteran, it's free, but caveat to being a veteran is you have to go through the Texas Veterans Commission. You have to contact them, give them your information, and then we'll send you a veteran verification letter in the mail or email. Right now, we're at about 2 weeks or 14 working days. Okay, so if you get that letter in the mail, or once you get that letter in the mail, me, again, I'm talking about me, you, me, you'll send it with your application for opening your LLC, and the fee will be waived. It does not stipulate how many fees or how many LLCs you can own, so I'm assuming I can do it for all my LLCs and my fee will be waived. So for me, all my LLCs will be free. If you're a veteran, which you are, meaning me, the LLCs will be free, providing you have your veteran verification letter. Okay, so let's start with the property. And I'm standing up, and when I stand up, I just have a tendency to wiggle all around. So I apologize. You can probably hear my feet on the floor. So property. Okay, we have a vehicle, and we have another vehicle. We have a house. And that's, I think, standard for most people. Now, maybe you have a motorcycle, maybe you have a what do they call, like a four-wheeler or something? Let's just do four-wheeler. You want to do an LLC for each one of these. Or let's say you want to just combine a couple things so that you don't have to spend as much money doing LLCs. You don't want to do all the paperwork, you can combine them, but it's best to split them up as much as you can. Here's the reason. If somebody comes onto your property and they slip, or you have a dog and the dog gets out, this happened to me recently, my dog got out, my neighbor came over, she says, your dog's scaring us. Well, she just wanted to lick you to death. She just looks scared because she's a Rottweiler. But if you are out driving in your car and you have everything you own in your name, then that's going to be a problem if you get sued. Because they'll sue your personal name. Okay, but if you're driving in a vehicle under an LLC, and this vehicle, let's say it has its own LLC, and you're going to name a company, so you're going to say like LLC, let's say it's Lions, no, yeah, Lions, like, you know, Liberty Lion. We're going to call this Lion. I don't want it to do anything with my name, my address, my personal information. I don't want to name my LLC anything that can be connected back to me, because I'm going to take the title to this vehicle and take it down to the Department of Motor Safety or whatever it is. And I'm going to have them transfer the title from my name into the name of my LLC, which is going to be Lion. Okay? And then my second vehicle, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to name this something else. It's going to be, let's just say, Statue of Liberty. LLC. It has to have the LLC or limited liability company, some indication, right? So that's going to be different. So if you hit someone in your car and they sue you, they're going to sue this. If you hit them in this car, they're going to sue that. They're not 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 going to sue that. And they're not going to sue your private name that has your private property in it. They're not going to sue that because they didn't hit that, they hit this. Or you didn't put your name on your insurance or your title or anything like that. So they can only sue this. They can only sue this, Lion, the LLC. That's why you want to have a different one for each of your properties. So this is going to be another LLC, and we're going to name it Dover Doves. I don't know, because I can't think of anything. LLC. We're going to name this LLC the Yellow Snake. We're going to name this, and maybe you want to combine it, since a four-wheeler is so cheap, it's probably not going to hurt anybody. You probably just want to put that in there or something, right? And then create an LLC for that if you want to keep it by itself. We're going to call it the Fun Hub LLC. Okay, I'm going to call it the Fun Hub LLC. So now you got your house in an LLC, you've got your two cars in an LLC, you've got your motorcycle in an LLC, you've got your four-wheeler in an LLC. Anything else you have a title to, you want to put it in one of your existing LLCs or a new LLC. Okay? And this is how you keep from your private side being sued. Okay? So if somebody comes onto your property, you've got your home in an LLC. So they can sue this, but they can't sue that or that or that or that. And they have to find this. They have to find it. So they'll say, you know, well, you're probably going to have insurance. So you'll have insurance. They'll sue the insurance out. But then after that, when they go after you personally, they can't find it. because the insurance is going to be in your LLC name. The title is going to be in your LLC name. Okay, so they're not going to get anything but the insurance. That's what the insurance is there for. This is what we're intended to do. This is how we're supposed to protect ourselves. This is the way rich people protect ourselves. So this is how we, my family, we want to protect ourselves. So what does this have to do with trust? Okay, so my problem was, what if I want to be the beneficiary, the trustee, and the grantor? I can be all three. No, normally they would tell you, you can't be all three. Well, how can we become all three? Well, you have a grantor, right? The person with all the titles. Now what we can do is we can take all the LLCs that we had before. Let's create a new LLC. LLC, right? LLC, if only the markers worked. LLC. Now, we've got everything in an LLC, but we want to combine all those and put those in a new LLC. I'm going to name this one the Canon. I'm going to name this one the Canon. Now the Canon owns all the titles to the other LLCs. It's a new LLC. And this LLC is going to be the grantor. Why? Because this LLC has all the titles. And we're creating layers. Layers, 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 layers. Why? Why do we want to create layers? Because if you get sued, the first thing attorney is going to do is do a title search. They're going to search for all the titles that are in your private name. They're not going to find any because you've got everything in LLCs. Okay, so if they have the LLC for your first vehicle, I don't remember what it was called, and you hit someone in your first vehicle, and they've got the LLC name for that, they're going to find that vehicle and nothing else, because everything else is in a different LLC. Nothing is in the same LLC. So the vehicle that you drive the most, you want it to definitely be in its own LLC. Other things you might want to be able to combine. In Texas, we have homestead. So if you have only one home, then it's protected by Texas law. You don't have to have it in an LLC. I want to put mine in an LLC anyway. Why not? Because I don't have to pay for the LLCs because I'm a veteran. So why not? Why not just put it in an LLC? So then I'm going to take all my LLCs, put them into an LLC called the Canon, make this LLC like the primary LLC in charge of all the other LLCs. So it's a business owning a bunch of business. It's a corporation that owns a bunch of corporations. And then I'm going to make that the grantor of my trust, my irrevocable trust. It's got to be an irrevocable trust to be a asset protection trust. Okay? It means it's unbreakable. They can't get into it. They can't break it up. They can't take some of your property. Okay, so now we're going to take and do another LLC. And this is going to be the trustee. And this one is, since this is a trustee, I'm going to name it, let's name it, Texas, let's give it a fun name. Lion, how about Lions on Texas? Lions on Fire Trust LLC. There. See? Layers, 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 layers. I've got 6 inside of here. I've got this one, and then I've got this one, and now we need a beneficiary, which could be me also through another LLC. But once my child turns a certain age, it'll go to her, and I'm going to call it Shorty, because she's short. LLC, Shorty LLC. Okay. And she'll be the beneficiary. So then what I can do is I can take this trust and put it into a will where she, being underage, she, the short person, being underage, so it'd be hard for her to be a beneficiary unless I'm paying for somebody, and if I'm the grantor and the trustee and I pass and she's the beneficiary and she's underage, we can name an executrix or executor, and they can administer it for him, and it could be a family member. This probably could be a family member also, but I don't want to do that because I plan on living a long time. And so this would all be part of a irrevocable trust with all my LLCs inside of it. And then I would have a will to control this trust if I pass and Shorty is underage. Then I could name an executor or an executrix to administer it until she becomes age, and then she inherits all this. And she inherits all of this. It doesn't have to go through name changes and stuff as far as I know, and she can just keep running it. So she could do an LLC that puts everything inside of the LLC that she creates, and then all this just goes in under it. And that's your layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. And I believe that the Jewish people have this figured out. And that's why Hitler wanted to get rid of them, because it kept money and property from being taken by governments. They say you're not supposed to do this to get out of paying taxes or to hide money. So that means that it's possible. That's mean that it's possible, right? So smaller, lower number of taxes paid when you do things like this. You're just not supposed to admit it openly, because then they get mad and they say, well, you're just doing it to get out of taxes. And well, who wants to pay taxes anyway? Nobody. So if you want to pay taxes, you go right ahead. I'm not saying you don't have to pay taxes. I'm saying that the insurance is more, because you have to get commercial insurance on all your items or titles that are in your LLC, not necessarily the things that you have as property for your LLC that you use as property to run your business that you have your LLC for, but that the taxes are lower. So I think I said that right. Okay, well, I hope you learned something. If not, maybe I can learn something from you. You can post comments in the comment section, and think about what I'm saying here. And here's some information that I'll just put up here real quick. So we're talking about limited liability company. So that's the LLC. You get that from Secretary of State. Okay, you get that from the Secretary of State, and it's a form. You fill out the form. In Texas, it's $300 per LLC. Okay, so if you're a veteran, it's free. You have to go through the the Texas Veterans Commission. You have to apply and receive your veteran verification letter, and then you take that and you put it with your form. It attach form for LLC and send in, and it's free, okay? If you're a veteran, it's free. Okay, so what else do you need for your house? If you have a mortgage, or if you don't have a mortgage, you need a title company to help you with transferring the title into an LLC or a trust, and an attorney. Okay, or an attorney, not and, or an attorney. Okay, and the title company probably has an attorney. Okay, so you need the deed or a title. Okay, probably some mortgage documents, I don't know. Okay, and then, what else did we talk about? Trust. Irrevocable trust. So what I did was I just looked online. See, what I do when I'm looking for some kind of form, okay, you can go to the law library. They have books. You can get the book, copy the pages out of the book, or you can buy it online, or you can get an attorney to send you the papers, or, and that's probably not going to happen. They don't like to share their papers. Or you can go online, look at a bunch of them. That's what I do. I go online, I look at a bunch of them. I put together the LLC the way I want it. I go to the law library, I look, I see if I have it, or I copy the forms from the books in the law library. I think there's one called NOLO or something like that, where they have a lot of forms. It's a company that does a lot of legal forms for different states. So you'd have to look up your state's book, okay? And then fill out the forms. So forms for your trust. And then you keep your trust secret. That's the biggie. When I started looking at this stuff years and years ago, I couldn't figure out why won't anybody share their trust so I can see a sample and I can know what it looks like and I'll know exactly what to do. Well, the reason why they don't is because they probably formed their trust to keep their assets private. If their assets are not private and something happens, then someone has their information and can sue them. Or maybe somebody has already tried to sue them, and if they release their trust information, somebody can find it online or whatever and then say, oh, that's the name of their trust, and then sue them. Okay, so that's why you got to keep your trust secret. Okay. So I think I covered it all. All right. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. Hopefully you learned something. If not, and you have questions, post them in the comment section. If you feel like I've gotten something wrong, because this is, like I said, it's hypothetical. I think I said that. This is what I plan on doing. This is what I've learned that attorneys are telling their clients to do to protect themselves, since America is such a litigious nation, and all the states, they have certain protections. In Texas, you have your homestead exemption, but that doesn't mean that they can't come and take your decades of hard work because your friendly dog got out and scared someone, and now they're having heart palpitations and nightmares, PTSD, and all that crap. So yeah, protect yourself. And that didn't happen to me. She's not suing me, just in case you're wondering. It's just an example that is something that could have happened. Real life example. My dog did get out. She did scare the neighbor. My neighbor's generally not a butthole, so she just told me to come get my dog, and I profusely apologized. So yeah, you got to learn to protect yourself, and sometimes you have to, like they say, get in to get out. I'm very much against getting in to get out, but I am for freedom, and that includes freedom from stupid ass lawsuits, so, or legal plunder, like, you know, IRS or whatever. Okay, so with that, have a good day. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.